Hi, Peter.
Hi, Kate.
I just wanted to capture what you've been doing today with your executive coaching.
Okay,
Is that all
no
right?
problem
Can
at all.
I,
Yeah, of course.
how did you do it today's session? I know you're doing this across the UK and across the globe, so I'm intrigued as to how did you actually technically set this up?
Okay, so I've got a number of coachees that I work with across the globe, and some of that's face to face. For other people, it's via Skype and Zoom, which brings different dynamics, but is just as effective. Because I know people around the world working, I know the hours that they are all have very similar challenges, and sometimes they just need to come to a coach to be able to express and verbalize some of those challenges to someone who's completely independent.
Yeah.
So
What was the challenge today? Sorry to interrupt. What was the
well, not just today, but even
what you finding?
one of the things I'm finding at the minute, and one of the key trends, is people feeling really frustrated.
Yeah.
Because they're overwhelmed either by the amount of demands placed on them personally, or the expectations of all different stakeholders, whether that be other managers, other customers, whether it be regulatory bodies. There is so much that is now expected of people.
Yeah.
And because we work in a technological age, then the expectation is almost 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
And for some people, that just becomes slightly too much. And they get frustrated, and that sometimes promulgates in showing aggression or anger, or just showing physical frustration. And I know that can be debilitating for the individuals themselves, because they then suffer migraines or other physical ailments. But also, I know by showing that kind of frustration, it can distract the people that they work with from I know the job that they have in hand.
Yeah. So how is so you would say, if it was me, for example, and I'm finding my board want me to go through this kind of coaching with you, how would we start? Where would you start? Would you?
Okay, so we normally have an introductory session whereby I get to know more about you and how you work, what the challenges you are facing, and that can be not only professionally but also personally as well, because we are humans,
of course.
And I know you cannot switch off completely. And then we prioritize an order of what you want to work on and what the outcomes look like at the end of that session, or the end of the 6 session program.
Is that how long it usually lasts for?
Between 6 and 12 weeks.
Okay.
Or 6 and 12 modules, depending on the time in between each session. But it's important for me, and usually the people I work with, that they have some very, very clear goals of what they want to achieve by the end. So we sort of set that out right at the beginning. Here's what you're going to do differently. Here's how you're going to benefit, and here's how your organisation or company will benefit as a result of this coaching.
So, say as me as a sales director, and put myself into my previous roles, and the board, engage with you, Privilege HR, to support me as a sales director, and the observations were that maybe my team are finding, me slightly frustrated, and I'm, venting it and what have you. And it was our first coaching session, and we decided, I needed to work and find a solution.
Yeah.
What kind of, coping mechanisms and strategies would you be able to help me with?
So normally what we look at is, and what I would work with you on, Kate, is, well, what's the root cause of that frustration? Because I don't think anyone goes to work to think, I'm going to be really frustrated today. It normally happens as a result of a whole host of different things, either other people or events or a whole host of other things. So I know we need to understand why that frustration's occurring. And then I know I use typically a model called CAP, and I know that that is used widely throughout the coaching sort of field. But it's one of the simpler models I find, and everything we do at Privilege HR is always to try and make things simple, because if it's simple, then you can put it into practice in, your day-to-day working life.
Yeah.
So CAP, basically stands for, first of all, controlling and clarifying what the expectations are of you. Sorry, clarifying. You'll have to edit that bit.
Yeah.
So clarifying what the expectations are of you.
Yeah.
Learning to control your emotions. So let's stop, let's evaluate, let's breathe.
Yeah.
Instead of being aggressive, let's turn that to assertiveness. And then we go through how you can then prioritise. And sometimes when you've got to-do lists of 2 or 3 pages long that you're supposed to achieve in maybe 8 hours, or I know for some people it's 10 and 12 hours,
Yeah.
then I know we really need to be very clear on how do you prioritise that work, and how do you manage other people's expectations when they come along in the middle of the day and say, I need you to do this
So
by
the
end of
reactive
the day.
stuff,
Yeah,
how do you
so
manage with that?
Moving from reactive to a lot more proactive, and that gives people a sense of control again
Yeah.
in their own work, and then usually their behaviours change.
Yeah, fantastic. Sounds amazing. So that's like one module. You've obviously
Yeah.
got 6 different modules that you can take,
Yes.
an individual through.
Yeah.
And is it, what kind of level are you looking at? Are you looking at senior management, board?
Okay.
What are you dealing with? A whole
Okay.
host of,
Yes.
of the org chart?
Yes, it does differ. So the executive coaching is generally more senior leadership. So it's your MDs, it's your directors or assistant directors. But then we do a much more basic coaching, which I really enjoy, which is usually for people who are maybe coming up the ranks, who are looking to be promoted, want to grow and develop themselves. And that allows them to move from where they are, hopefully to a more senior position, and be recognised as talent going forward in that organisation. So that is another service that I offer and Privilege HR offers.
Do you work in both the public and private sector, or is it?
Yes, yeah, both.
Yeah.
And the third sector as well. So
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
it really does vary. We work right across.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah.
fantastic. Thank you for your insight today, Peter.
No, thank you, Kate.